Canada-India relationship is, I think, the best it's been in for many, many years. We're going forward with a number of really important framework agreements. The fact that we have a nuclear cooperation agreement is fundamental to moving forward of the relationship. The fact that we launched negotiations for a comprehensive economic partnership agreement. The fact that we're looking at renewing our bilateral air agreement. I mean, these are all things that will augur well for our future. So you're here at a good time. Thank you for coming to Gujarat. Thank you for coming to India, and I look forward to seeing you in Delhi in a couple of days.
May I just say, I leaned over to Mr. Pandya and asked him, how long did he want me to talk? And he said, go as long as you want, which is a dangerous thing to tell a politician. But I'll be mindful of the busy day that everyone has yet before them. Thank you so very much for the very warm welcome again. On behalf of all of us in our delegation, we just appreciate it very, very much. We have a lot in common, Saskatchewan and Gujarat. We, in our province, are also leading the country in terms of economic growth, as you are, your country. We're also trying to build on that leadership position by thinking about the future and thinking about the economy that's coming next, not just the economy that we seek to build today. Yours is a strong reputation, not just here in your country, but as we've learned more about the market, it's a strong reputation that's known elsewhere. In fact, I was very interested to read a little bit about the economic strength here, but also the history, and that perhaps Gujaratis are responsible for not just building this state and this great city, but maybe Mumbai as well. It's just been great to get to know a little bit more about this economy and to seek to build a better relationship between the two of us. We are blessed in Saskatchewan with natural resources that would be the envy of nations. Now we produce about 20% of the world's uranium. We've touched on that a little bit here today. And we have 53% of the world's potash reserve. You know, in the midst of the BHP takeover process, I was told by somebody, they said, you know, you're like the Saudi Arabia of potash. And I said, no, Saudi Arabia has about 10% of the world's oil. We have 53% of the world's potash. So we're blessed. Obviously, you can't chalk that up to good government. But we have it now, and it's an important part of the inventory of natural resources we have in a world that seeks food security. We're the second largest producer of oil in our country. We sell more oil to the United States than Kuwait. We are the third largest producer of natural gas. And we're aware of Kitimat and the LNG process. And the three western provinces have been talking a little bit about that pipeline to the coast, to avail ourselves of markets. That price is a little surprising, that you've mentioned there. And perhaps we could do a little better. So there's natural gas, and there's oil, and there's uranium, and there's potash, and there are rare earth minerals. We are involved in renewable energies as well through our state-owned electrical utility, Sask Power. But we believe it's an imperative to not just use the resource wealth to invest in today, to reduce taxes today, to pay off debt today, to build infrastructure today, and to invest in quality of life today. That's all important to use royalty revenues to do. We need to be thinking about tomorrow. And so we're particularly interested in the ongoing exchange between Gujarat and Saskatchewan in the area of innovation, in the area of skills training. Our innovation agenda is going to focus on clean coal technology, carbon capture and sequestration. Currently, I can tell you that 40% of the CO2 that's successfully stored underground in the world is under the province of Saskatchewan. We have the largest demonstration project on Earth, and so we have things to share. We also know there's an application to that CO2 in terms of enhanced oil recovery. And this institution here, I'm sure, is very much focused on recovery rate technology. We have at the University of Regina, the Petroleum Research Center, which I think is a world leader in oil rate recovery technologies. That exchange needs to continue. We can learn from each other as we seek to build tomorrow's economy. Another part of our innovation agenda is adding value to this great uranium resource we have, nuclear material science and small reactor technology development. We've been talking about that while we're in India, seeking partnerships there. And nuclear medicine as well, and finally, and it was touched on as well, we want to make an investment in agricultural biotechnology. Currently, a third of Canada's agricultural biotech community is in our province, principally located at the University of Saskatchewan, but not only. And we as a government think it's important for us to make investments, not just in our own biotech community, but here. And our pulse growers are making deals while they're on this trade mission today to help address issues of productivity and quality and nutrition right here with our best customer. You're right, about 70% of the peas you import come from our province, and 80% of the lentils you import come from our province. So we also have been spending time over the last few days saying thank you a lot for being more than customers, but friends and partners. So all of that to say this, we need, if our mutual vision is to focus on the future and what's next, we need to keep building on these MOUs, both with GMDC, with SIAST, our technical schools, which we'll sign that officially later today after we meet with your Premier, your Chief Minister, with the University of Saskatchewan, who's always been a leader in this regard, in engaging around the world, and I hope soon with the University of Regina, maybe our Chamber of Commerce can pass that message on. We may also pass that on as well. And with Enterprise Saskatchewan, with our two governments. We want to make sure we're investing in this relationship and that it's more than just trading goods and selling things. It ought to be about the future, and it ought to be about our respective peoples. So we look forward to that continuing. And again, on behalf of our delegation, thank you very much. This is the first time a Saskatchewan Premier has ever come to this country on a trade mission, and that's perhaps an oversight. It isn't. No, not perhaps an oversight. It is an oversight, and one we intend to correct. I'll leave you with what was told to me by a good friend of mine who is also an old rancher, a cowboy near where I grew up in Swift Current, Saskatchewan, where there's not a lot of trees. I was lamenting about some lost opportunity, and he reminded me of this. He said, remember, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is today. And so we weren't here 20 years ago. We weren't here 10 years ago. But we're building the relationship today. And we look forward to that continuing. Thanks very much for inviting us.